Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is Kamala Ingrid, the Holistic-Yogi, and today I wanted to actually let you guys know, sorry again for the delay on my recording for December, but it is the holidays. Everybody's in that spirit. Everyone is moving around and doing their hustle and bustle. So here it is. I have my beautiful guest and friend, Desiree Davila, and I have the honors to close the year with her. So we'll open it up again with her again. And I have the honors to bring her back because we've gone through a lot. I want to bring our topic today is about basically creating resilience with our home herbalism. And we're also going to talk a little bit, dive into her experiences with plant medicine as well, and how she encounters and how we tie all of this together. So our topic is really creating resilience within, at the moment, with home herbalism. And she's one that is actually diving into this very deep, and I love the stuff that she has brought me in. One of them is adaptiva, and we'll go into it in detail. So welcome, Desiree, back into our show, and sorry about that, my cat just jumped on my table.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's not like I had what do you call it, earthquake here, but he just jumped on my table.
They heard Desiree and they got all excited.
Exactly. They're all
Thank
here
you for
with
having
me right
me
now.
again.
Thank
Thanks for
you,
having me
honey.
again.
Thank you. So let's go into it. How has it's been? What, a whole full year now, and I finally got to see you recently. So, and finally you've been away for almost a whole year, correct?
Yes, I've been away for actually it was a year and
A
it's been a
year.
couple of weeks. Yeah.
And how was that journey?
Well, that journey was unexpected. Having a parent become ill,
Yeah. Sorry
or
about
have symptoms of illness, and then have an emergent surgery that was out of nowhere. Literally, he was not a cardiac patient, but it was like, oh, by the way, 12:30 you're doing your life, and 1:30 a text comes and you're on a plane.
the unexpected, the ebb and flow of life that can be unexpected. Yeah. But how have you?
Hmm.
And then you tried my 21 day. You went into also all these different things to keep you in that kind of grounded mode. And now when you came
It was
back,
great.
what kind of
Great
like,
timing.
yeah, great
Great
timing.
timing.
How did you
I
feel?
was able to do the 21 day. I was able to participate with the 10-day
Belly
belly,
blow.
the
Belly
belly
blow.
blow. It's just like it's a divine unfolding. Cortisol levels rise, abdominal girth increases with stress. The inflammatory process is just really the root of
Yeah.
not being in ease. So ease.
Disease. Correct.
And for real, the timing of that was amazing. It was easy to throw in these amazing vegetables, make a broth, and
It's simple.
flush kidneys. It was not only simple, but it's absolutely delicious. And I don't call it was like in past tense as if I don't do the broth anymore. It's just that initiating it with all the things, with the meditation, with the positional movements, to release and to loosen, yoga. It's a whole thing.
Right.
And I love it that it was right there on my phone, so I could just go into it, while you're waiting at a doctor's office, in COVID.
Right.
So you could be there an hour and a half. It was just the timing was intense. So just to touch base on that, if anybody has the opportunity to download that app and get really the better, and what it is today from what it was even just from the summertime when I participated with it doesn't even match. It just keeps on evolving.
Yes.
And so it is wonderful. I mean, it's simple affirmations, just little mini things to help you get through your day. Again, your day can change in an hour.
In an hour, exactly. And every week is different. So even though we have a certain lifestyle, like you said, you can get that call and all of a sudden things shifts.
You can get that call. You can get that. You can have that one unexpected thing that you weren't ready can rock your universe. Exactly. And our job is to get through it somehow. So
exactly. So you want to be able to find yourself in a place of like, sanity when times come into when challenges come and arise. You want to have that sense of grounding, which is what can lead us into, like you said, diseases and things like that if we let it prolong for too long. So it's important to keep our health
Yes.
and mental
And
health.
we're not all equipped. Yes,
Yeah.
we're not all equipped. We may be equipped. We may think that we're equipped, but we may just need that one rocketing moment where we're like, oh, wait a minute. I've been through divorce. This isn't any secret.
Right.
So that's a shot. That's a whole different life plan. Oh, I didn't have that wasn't in my planner.
None of us, exactly. None of
So,
us.
so yeah, this is, yes, different stresses, different experiences, and different coping mechanisms and different managing the things. So definitely, that was definitely part of it. And then being a nurse and having to nurse the patient became myself.
Yourself, exactly. You can't nurse somebody
Mm-hmm.
else if you don't nurse yourself right. You can't help others because you find yourself in that discomfort. So it's an energetic flow. So what you put inside yourself, and it's what you put out. So if you're in that discomfort place, that's exactly what you're resonating out to those around you. So they can't heal someone.
Absolutely.
And you have tapped into now herbalism, which I love because you tapped into it during COVID time. You've also you've gone into the Reiki. You've also in that whole Reiki world, so you understand the concept as a nurse. You're going deeper into now understanding the energy and how taxing the body could be very much a key.
And that unfolding was absolutely, and that unfolding also was intense. I started I've always wanted to do it, but again, here's a combination of topics all really under the same umbrella. There's a desire to understand what Reiki is, and
Right.
Well, let me get it. So I get to the level of advanced practitioner, and believe it or not, I used it when I was, my parents they may not have known. I would ask them, listen, I'm just going to send you some energy, but really do it. And
Right.
Once you have that permission, whether they receive it or not, I would just keep on
sending,
doing it. And then I'll do a chair Reiki session actually with my mother, or if my father's sleeping, hover over him a little bit, or just send it to it's just amazing.
It is
And
because you're giving
honestly,
that energy.
it makes a difference.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. You see it and you feel it, and I do the same thing as well. Especially once you get that permission, you do it. You send it with love
and yourself. I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of.
Now let me ask you this: since you've been in this challenge year of that has been unexpected events happening, now that you've taken these courses, to me it's a lesson. You have to go through the ebb and flow of the highs and lows of it in order for you to really appreciate the learning of these experiences of like Reiki, herbalism, and even now I know you dove into some plant medicine, so I want to know that too. But you learn to understand the concept of our bodies when you learn your body at a deeper level, correct?
It's an absolute different level, a deeper and a different level. It's cerebral when you're, whatever you're doing in your career, whatever you're doing in your way that you make your income, your revenue, your salary, all the different concepts of, bringing in that one energy that we need to be able to pay for things so we can have an existence. Even talking about it like that, even talking about money as an energy is it's just a whole different concept.
It is energy.
And it's energy, and there's an exchange for that energy. Like it just means something different. Right. I could talk about nursing and COVID and how the CNAs and doctors and all the people in these medical health industry had to use their energy to get through that. We're not trained. We're trained to take care of others. We're not maybe the best patients, and we are certainly. I understand now why you don't take care of your family in a hospital situation. Like your mother can't be on your day. They can't be on your one of the patients for your day like that. Right. Somebody else has to do it. So how do you become a caretaker? How do you take care of yourself? How do you make sure that your cup is filled so you can pour somebody else's cup? All those things during a global pandemic, just wow. And coping mechanisms that you just have to pull out of, the air. You know what it is, but you have to learn how to give yourself the permission apply it.
Apply it. That's where
you can learn a lot of things. You have to.
That I think is where your challenge is applying it. And most people
you have to apply
have the tools, is applying it. You give the
yeah,
tools.
I can tell you all day what you can do to relax, what you can do to take care of yourself,
Correct.
what you can do to take care of so and so. You know, when your mom comes home, you're gonna have to do A, B, and C, D.
Right.
But it's a different story when you're the one bringing mom or dad home and you have to do A, B, C. Exactly. So yes, and what an opportunity to apply all the passions that I have for others and use it for myself. Now I feel really I can communicate to somebody from a place of saying, I know that eucalyptus oil is really,
yes,
helps me breathe.
Yes. Well, you had to give your mother some of this because she has issues with her breathing, correct?
Yeah, so I learned that while my father was having his cardiac scenario, my mother is having her respiratory scenario. So, this breathing is not optional, and sometimes people develop complications or dis-ease in different areas, whether or not they've smoked or not. She never smoked. She didn't have any of the secondhand smoke. None of the things that would fall under the category of if you've had these, this can happen to you.
Right.
But she has it anyway. So she's got a form of obstructive pulmonary.
And what helped her in the meantime? What were some of the herbals that you gave her?
Researching that, tea, she likes tea, and clinically as a nurse, knowing that warm fluids are moistening the digestive tract, the respiratory tract. Warmth soothes muscles, it's relaxing. So applying a warm, moist heat in the content of tea was one of them. What could we do to help relieve these bronchioles, these tightening, constricted lungs, and the secretions that are stuck, this persistent coughing? How do we calm that rattling coughing? Yes. There's people with asthma, there's people with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, chronic bronchitis, all these different respiratory complications. Correct. COVID is a virus of a viral infection of the lung. Yeah. So what can help soothe symptoms? And so mullein leaf is one of the leaves that I steeped with raw organic honey. Nice. Because it has an antimicrobial effect, right? That's like an antibacteria.
How long do you steep it for? What's the max?
I put it in for like 3, 4, or 5 minutes. It turns a beautiful, almost like a green tea look. Okay. If anybody's had a green tea. Actually, I don't even know if it has a caffeine or not. She needed the energy if it did give that. I can tell you that she drank the mullein with the organic raw honey, and I got more creative and put a cinnamon bark in it. Oh. Because cinnamon is just it metabolizes sugars. Yes. So it's all these different combinations. Yes. It gives an amazing taste. It's soothing. Yes. And so, but it's also spicy, so it gives you a little extra kick. Yeah. And you need all this, right? You're exhausted from all the coughing. Yes. You want to release this mucus in your lung. So just literally a simple organic mullein leaf in hot water with organic raw honey and a little bit of a cinnamon stick. And wow, she has a vest she wears to give you chest therapy. Oh, nice. And it brings up the mucus, and wow, just a whole different. It breaks it up and lets it out. So if someone's having asthma, if somebody's having any of these chronic conditions, you can take that to get relief. Yes. And get some of that stuff out. Give the body a break.
Even for dry cough, right? Even for those that have
even for a dry cough, because what it does, it's soothing the mucus, the lining of the esophagus, esophagus.
Beautiful.
It's calming it down.
Yeah, that's that's really good. And you also would combine it with eucalyptus, correct? But not for drinking.
So the eucalyptus. So she goes to an ENT doctor, who is more from the Middle East, but practicing in New York. And I almost melted out of the chair when one of his recommendations was, I'd like for you to inhale eucalyptus 2 times a day.
Wow,
I was ecstatic.
that's awesome.
So I got her a little device from Amazon that you can pour the water, you plug it in. It gives you just the littlest dose of water that turns into a steam. And do this twice a day, some essential eucalyptus
Right.
oil.
I
No
love that.
preservatives and nothing, not the stuff that you buy in
Yeah, yeah,
Marshalls, like
no.
legitimate
Right.
pure eucalyptus
Pure.
oil. And what was the intention of that? To again warm moisture,
Right.
moisten the mucus linings, but also allow the eucalyptus to relieve
her, yes, and give her some
and
energy.
give her energy and produce,
yeah,
helping that mullein and that together. Her voice cleared up a lot. She sounded like she was somebody who was gravelly because of all that stuff that's in there. She sounded different. She was breathing better, therefore awesome. Oxygenating better, because the oxygen now is profusing.
Beautiful.
It was just simple.
See, she needed that. But at the same time, I had to also find peace within yourself, because it's like between work, being out of place, of not living, being in the home, dealing with that also kind of took a toll on you, from what I remember.
It takes a toll. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I end up using.
Because you're like 24 hours. You're not shutting down.
Right. You're not shutting down. You have one parent that's
critical. Yeah, I know.
Critical, and you have one parent that's doing something else. So you're balance. Where's the balance?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you that struggling, but definitely lavender. I would inhale lavender. I would also take some of the eucalyptus, peppermint, all these things to citrus. Orange. Just to give me the delicious, it was like a warm hug.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I really do. And you gave me that adaptogen, which I loved. I fell in love with this thing because of the smell. And one of the things you told me.
Yeah, I got a roll on and I put that on. It's just so good. It's called Adaptive. That's doTERRA oil.
Just for those out there.
Yeah.
No, I want to interrupt you a little bit, but I want to let people know that you will be putting these up in my my dosha program down the road.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're just gonna give her we're gonna give her a little break to get her life in order, but these will be provided for you down the road. I'll put them in my dosha sequences.
Well, I love how we're in sync. I know that you took an herbology course.
Yeah, I did.
That I happen to have mentioned, not knowing that you actually already finished it. So
yep.
So how about that?
How about that?
And so yes, that herbology course,
I love it.
Is really taking it away from. I'm not saying don't see your doctor. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, you can. There's other things you can do on top of if you want to combine them. I would never tell somebody anti-medicine. I would never say that.
It's true, and
definitely.
I agree, because what you want to do is, like I always tell people when I train, there's 4 stages in life. The first 2, you can take care of yourself and do most of the good work if you are, again, applying and doing the work. And the third stage is where things are now, the disease has gone out of control. Then you really have to kind of take that time in order to reset everything back. Like say cancer comes up, then you can reset back, because Louise Hayes did it. She was terminally ill, and she reset her mindset. No, I'm going to try to do. Her doctor gave her permission to then do so. And when she went back to him, she basically cleared and was in a a state of remission.
In a different place.
And then and she died completely in I think was it 2017. She died, but of natural causes, not from her cancer, which she was terminally ill when she was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that lets you know that yes, we can actually heal ourselves. But when it's at stage 4, then you have to really let medical, let them do their thing. But
you're gonna do whatever is whatever you align with. But my gosh, there's all this extra support.
Yeah.
And your feline agrees.
Yeah, you heard them, right? They're like on top of the plane right now.
You need that extra support. It doesn't hurt to have a tea.
No, it's
that's
true.
An extra support.
Listen, I'm big on teas. We do teas every night. We sit on it, and I got into right now the Blue Lotus, which is a beautiful. I didn't, when I did the research about it, it comes from ancient times, from back in the day, even the goddesses in Even the Romans did it.
Egyptian. It's an Egyptian.
Yes, they used it a lot for their ceremonies and things like that. And then you go down, the Romans then picked it up, and they used it as well. Cleopatra was big on it, and it was like her tea. And what that does is not only it's a calming tea, but I mix it in with chamomile and lavender at night. So I steep it. You can't steep it more than 5 minutes because then it gets bitter. So you have to let it steep for like up to 3 to 5 minutes. And then you can take it and combine it with your lavender and herb and chamomile. I put raw honey, just a little bit of it, not much, because I like most of my stuff without too much of that seed, but I always like the honey's really good for you. So I take the raw honey, mix it, and that actually lets you sleep like a baby. You know, so
and look at that. I want to say that I have tried it. The Blue Lotus.
You liked it. That's right. I gave you some.
I loved it. I put it in hot a nut milk.
Nice.
I love turmeric tea or a golden milk latte at night. Turmeric tea. If you do turmeric and almond milk and with honey and cinnamon, you can sleep equivalently as if you took a Xanax. The difference is Xanax is going to wear off in not Xanax, my apologies. It's another medicine at night that you can take. But it has a shelf life of 4 hours. Wow. So what's the dose that you have to take of this nighttime pill that to sleep an 8-hour day, an 8-hour night? But I can take a golden milk. I'm out in 20 minutes. Like I always say, you can do this golden milk, but don't drive because you're going to be asleep in 20 minutes.
Oh yeah,
20 minutes
you don't
to 30
want to do
minutes.
this is
you're
stuff
relaxing.
that you want. Same with the Blue Lotus. You don't want to be able to take it. And the bigger, like if I have my bigger mug, I definitely sleep in profound. And we like to put sometimes sound bowl healing for 10 hours. And we let it run through the night.
And it's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's
like
absolutely delicious. It tastes delicious.
And
soothing.
You're like a baby sleeping. You ground yourself.
It is so true.
And you need
and no side effects.
Yeah.
So
no aftertaste,
so what's
no less side effects. It's the best way. And it just takes
absolutely
to really. And then we are also on a plant-based diet, which also helps us kind of gain those effects a lot faster versus somebody that is on a omnivore diet because of the fact that it's harder to digest, as we know.
Absolutely.
Not something
I agree with that. That is so true.
And so the body
you don't want a cheeseburger for dinner and then try to go to sleep. It's your body's working for 12 days to break that cheeseburger down.
Exactly. And then the next morning you feel lethargic. You really don't rest. Your body's struggling to break it down. So it's like that's why I'm big with plant-based. You know, even though it took me some time to get into it when I was raising my daughter, it was very hard to raise a child and try not to like take away when you're not very educated on how and what to do, especially when children some kids can get picky, you know. Thankfully she wasn't like that, but she wasn't for the love of mushrooms back in the days. You know, now she is, you know, so you know, things like that, you know, it's hard.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think she was pretty good for most kids. She ate her greens, she loved her greens, she didn't have a problem. To this day she's vegan 100% since she,
which is amazing. I mean, that's amazing. Now, not everybody listening would be, you know, they want or need their animal protein.
No.
And if they do, that's great. But you still can support your system with alternative things. Not to say alternative like it's something woo-woo-ish. It's just literally, you know, as a nurse, I'll just say that there's a tree bark that they extract its medicinal qualities, and they make tamoxifen, which is a breast cancer chemotherapy. So I mean, our medicine that we have is, if we go back to how it's what it comes from our plant life anyway.
Yeah, speaking about one of the herbs that actually is really good for breast cancer patients is that I was telling you, violet leaf. And if you get the violet leaf and you actually take it and put it in castor oil, like you do in oil form, and you let it sit in it for some time.
Yeah.
You apply that onto that area. It also works with digestion for people that are constipated, that have issues. If you hold it for 30 minutes or so, it actually helps completely eliminate, keep cancer free, cyst free. Lets you move. It's incredible with castor oil, the combination of that and the violet leaf. And this is something that grows in your backyard. Isn't that crazy?
Exactly. No, it's so true. Dandelion.
Dandelion, another
People
one.
think dandelion, oh, I have to get the gardener, we have to get rid of the weeds.
And that's good for
You
the
know,
liver.
there's dandelion all over my backyard. Oh
Yeah.
God, you have a whole forest of medicine in your backyard.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful of things that you can actually learn from what is in the nature of what's in your yard,
Yeah.
and what you can bring in and use and edible.
Yes.
Even the violet flower itself is edible. You can use them in your salads. But please,
I had gotten some lavender plants.
Let's put it out there before anything.
Yeah,
Make
careful,
sure
yeah.
you learn which one it is. Don't just pick any violet flowers out there.
Don't go start picking out things there. Don't go roadside and go rogue.
Educate yourself, I say.
Know what you're doing. But no, absolutely.
Yeah,
bought a lavender plant and foraging, and it's fun, but you gotta know what you're doing, because some of these stuff are deadly. Some of this stuff is deadly also. I mean, coffee, we are a nation of coffee. You pay $4 or $5 for a Starbucks, but that's a bean. It's a cocoa bean.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that, because bringing that up, I've moved on into like cordyceps, which is the energy that coffee brings into. And then you bring it in with the combination of the mushrooms with chaga, reishi, and lion's mane, because lion's mane will give you focus. And you've got the compound of the other two, which are also good for cancer, you know, to eliminate all that and give you the energy and give you the vitality and give you the awake state, instead of kind of going down. With coffee, gives you that quick rise, but then a big low at the same time if you drink too much of it. You know, once a day, I won't condone it. Those that love coffee, go for it. You know, it's not a big, it's once a day, fine. You know, it has good properties too. I don't condone it, but for those that are very much addicted to it, or they have to have a big amount and you gotta constantly drink it, then that's what.
Right, because it's that caffeine piece. The caffeinated coffee is the addictive component, as the nicotine is in the cigarette. So yes, that's absolutely correct.
Correct.
But definitely, I tried the mushroom. Now, some of them, you know, are not. Some of them taste like pond water, but there's some that are so delicious. I tried a mud water one.
Yeah, I have that.
With almond milk, and
delicious. Right? Yeah.
It was amazing. I put a little cayenne pepper.
Oh, so you spice.
I put cayenne pepper in my coffee, and I put cinnamon in my coffee too.
In your mud water.
And my mud water and coffee.
You did too.
I add, because cayenne pepper, it stimulates, right? I'm a metabolic stimulator, so that I could take off a little bit of the sedentary pounds, help me boost my metabolism.
Right, exactly.
But in a natural way. I don't need to go to the pharmacy and buy those red pills that they try to get you. That phenol. I mean, those things are wow.
No, that's terrible.
Really, no good for your heart. So a little cayenne pepper really goes a long way. And then cinnamon is a sugar buster. So I really make my coffee or my mushroom water. It was so good.
That's awesome.
Literally, I could drink that, and I'm a coffeeholic. My name is Desiree. I'm a coffeeholic.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And even like I say, even with water, like if you put lemon or lime, they have so many benefits. Like if you do it in the daytime and you drink your water with your lemon or lime, you're basically cleansing. It's great for the skin and
alkalizing.
Immune booster, everything. At night, it's a cleanser. In the daytime, it's more of a immune booster and all that stuff. But at night, when you drink it before bed, because our bodies shut down after 6:30, basically, is why you shouldn't eat so late. Our body's going through a cleansing state while you're sleeping. So when you drink water, and if you leave it by your bedside, which I do, I tend to take a gulp or so. That is one of the things that helps me, and it also helps weight loss at night if you drink it. So
absolutely, and you're hydrating yourself. And not that this is a conversation about cancer per se, but it has come up a lot. But I'm thinking, that's that medical head. If we look at what that really is, there was a certification I took. Stress equals dis-ease. Inflammation is that. So many illnesses are are formulated from that. But why? Because it all equals a cellular change. If we look at ourselves, our beautiful spirits are a bag of chemicals and cells.
Yes.
And anything that's eroding the cell can offer the opportunity to change into a cancer.
Yeah.
That's why you can get a cancer of anything. God bless everybody.
Yeah.
Source bless everybody.
Right.
So what's my point of saying that? Oxidation also erodes cells. It changes cells, and that changing could go rogue, and that's what cancer is, right? It's a rogue cell. So what's my point of saying all this? These plants, I mean, a lavender is soothing. Eucalyptus is Eucalyptus copaiba. That is a resin. You get that from another tree bark that helps reduce or lower the oxidation process on your cells. Who thought of that?
That's
so
amazing.
when people are clearing an energy clearing with copaiba, but I have copaiba in a oil.
I love that.
And you can put it. It's excellent for your skin.
Yeah, you gave it to me here, right, on this one.
There's a little bit of copaiba in the adaptive because it reduces stress, reduces oxidation. Not that this is about doTERRA, but yarrow plant is an excellent plant for cellular maintenance. So this is amazing to keep firm and delicious.
Yes.
And it has pomegranate in it. I mean, I haven't mentioned a thing that has anything to do with a chemical made in a factory. This is all right from plants.
Well, you've been in my house. You've been to my bathroom. You've seen all the oils I have. You can't say my shelf is full of oils.
It's a medicinal cabinet, but it's medicinal.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't have an RX number. You don't need a DEA number.
Yeah, rose hip, all that, and you can also make your own rose hip with just basically taking the petals of the water and boiling distilled water and boiling it with petals until the petals discolorize, and then after that you basically put them in let it cool off.
A rose essence.
Yeah. You squeeze everything so you can and then after you could use a bottle and mist it in your face, and that actually helps with wrinkles.
I love that. Yes.
So
and it smells delicious.
Yes, it feels amazing. And then after that you can apply your oils. Like coconut oil is great for wrinkles as well. I use
coconut oil for everything.
For everything. Yes. Me too. I use it for my hair.
I use it for my hair.
Yeah, I've basically turned Miguel into it. So
and you see, and it is exactly. It's not just female. It's both men and female. I made a beard oil. A friend of mine is a barber. I mean, that you have to keep that skin under there conditioned, and you know, it has to smell nice, and it looks good when our hair looks good.
It's almost like it all connects, and it's like for him, he used to have to so dry because he's got a lot of white hair. So it's like when I made one with coconut and rosemary and peppermint, those three combinations, and he combs it down, and now his beard is very soft, especially this area where the white
I'm telling you,
it's amazing what it does for your hair. And then we have a lot of hair, so it's that
it needs to be conditioned, and I process mine so it really needs the support.
So let me ask you, let's dive into now the plant medicine. You dove into it for the first time.
Yes, another desire of mine that I said, it's not now when. I made it happen. I said that when I came back, I was going to do it. And wow, it just happened.
Yeah, you see a little thing walking. That's my cat.
I said, that's a cat. I love it. So yes, I did. And I want to share that the recommendation to, there's different options out there, which I wasn't even aware of. So it's really beautiful to know that there are different options out there. I wanted to do ayahuasca, and because that's what you hear about. And that's what I've been reading on it and watching documentaries on it. I mean, you just don't wake up one day and say, I want to do this. This is a medicine plan. This is calling. This is a calling. This is an unfolding.
Right.
But I think all this stuff happens when your body, your system, your journey, all of the things are like clear, right? I mean, if I'm applying plants, I'm applying them, I'm inhaling them, and eucalyptus, I smudge it, I do all these things. And I wanted to open up my chakras. I wanted to be able to, I know this is we talk about the veil, not to get mystical, but we know that people transition and they're still here, and that's very hard concept. So, it's just nursing in a whole different way. And I wanted to be able to be the most open so that I can continue on this journey, however this unfolds.
Yeah.
And I knew that that was a way to do it, to try to see how I can do that. And wow, I participated in
Heart opener, right?
in a ceremony that was a heart opener, and it really was a heart opener. So people,
well, I know that
even
yeah, the plant that you use that actually are given is called sassafras, which is, you know, one of the sassafras is basically also used. You can use it in your.
I used to have sassafras tea.
Yeah.
I used to have sassafras tea when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was a Girl Scout.
You too. Me too.
Oh my gosh. We had sassafras tea. So who knew? Again, here's another plant. And so yes, but the setting was amazing, and it was outdoors, and you know, with chocolate, dark chocolate is delicious. Another right from
cacao.
a cocoa.
Yeah, cacao.
Cacao. Yeah. So that's another plant, and
psilocybin.
A mushroom. Yes, exactly. So, wow, just amazing. Fully conscious, not having. I know there's purging, but I also understand that if your body has to get rid of certain energies, it's going to have to purge. But we do that anyway. You can. Yeah. Who hasn't had their cup of coffee in the morning and had to purge?
Oh yeah. Or work out very hard, and then all of a sudden you purge.
Yeah, you're sweating, or you have or too much meat, and now you have sweats, meat sweats they call that. That's a purge.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I didn't have all that. It was really just a beautiful, and I understood now what the word ceremony, you know, like ceremony. People think, what is that? You know, you're like, hey.
Yeah.
Well, I was smiling a lot, and I felt like I was glowing, but it was just really this whole other.
But I want to let them know also, because even though it's your first time, for those that go for the first time, it's, as I mentioned to you before you walked in, is to go with intention and to learn to understand what comes up. And you may not understand it, because you remember your information came later on certain things that you either heard or saw, but didn't understand. And I said, just sit with it. And that's how I tell anyone that dives into it, just sit with it and let it flow. And then later you were able to understand it, or it came clear. Remember, you know, and still
unfolds. Part of my personal preparation for it, I had done this particular thing a year prior. I was at a place and I heard of a salt float. So Epsom salt, magnesium, which is like another natural, right? A magnesium we can take to relax ourselves. Magnesium is good for kidneys. It detoxifies. Right. So Epsom salt is this with sulfite. So I took this float, and that was an amazing experience. It's weightlessness. So you're relaxing your joints, everything, totally setting a relaxive state.
Yeah.
And so I did that the night before. And in the morning, I just deep breath and did that. My intention was whatever was calling me to be able to do it. Yeah. I want to know whatever it is that needs to be told. Whatever I need to know or feel or whatever, I'm open to whatever it is.
Right.
And it was really sparkly.
Right. And it's interesting, because even when you first arrived, remember you said when you came to see me, we did a session here. And then you went home and you did your bath. You soaked in Epsom salt.
Oh, yes.
Explain what happened.
I came from New York. I saw you because I had fallen.
Right.
And yes, I could barely get into your car. Like I had been 2 weeks, but inflammation does that, right? This is inflammation on the knee area. It was just hard. And, you know, I did all the things, but compress, ice, elevate, but it needed to be released. It needed manipulation. I Reiki'd myself, but sometimes you just need something else.
I have to say, the thing is, when you're dealing with inflammation, a lot of times it's not so much you, because you could do the work, but not, remember, setting intentions and also being present of what's happening. And this is what people don't realize. A lot of inflammation has to do with, if you go back to Louise Hay's book, as we mentioned her earlier, and she talks about, there's a book called that she has about healing the body. And every part of the body, when there's something wrong with it, what it really stands for. So inflammation is anger, trapped basically, and then it happens to be on the knee, so it has to do with ego. And sometimes when you're so angry and you're not willing to see it and you're in yourself in that place, you can't heal it because you're still trapped in there. So the fact that when you came here, the environment provided, plus the work, the Reiki, plus the releasing, allowed you to release it.
Unbelievable. Yes.
Then you went home and did the work with your salt
Then
bath.
I would, did the salt bath, and that salt bath
Say something about
turned colors.
Yes.
I take 2 and 3 baths a day. My friends laugh at me. I am the person that everybody says, Desiree, you own the most towels of anybody I know. I have so many towels.
I had to get rid of them when I had my house because I'm like,
I just have so many towels.
Me too.
If you want a towel, I have a towel for you. Washcloth, hand cloth, towel, baths. I have all the towels. I love showers. Yeah. I think it's a refreshing. I love showers and baths, but I love showers.
Yes.
But Epsom salt bath, I said, that's my go-to. An Epsom salt bath. I put a little lavender oil, copaiba oil. It's just delicious. Rose oil, anything, any sweet.
Yes.
It's just delicious. So I did it. And yes, the movement, the flexing, ego, anger. What was I angry at? I had spent a year, it's turmoil. You have to work, you have to balance. Relationship, you lose a relationship, you lose, you gain. It's tight, things are hard. You want to do things that you just want to pick up and leave and do things that you want to do, but you can't. Like, it's just a lot of things.
Yeah.
Life.
But yes, life. But like a lot of times it's confronting it, because again, that's what you did with the plant medicine, is confronting the scenario. And as I said to you before, sometimes we're in a place, if we're not in a relationship within ourselves, we really can't draw that ideal person into our life because you're not there yet. But once you are there within yourself and you have that self-love with yourself, then you can bring the ideal. Otherwise, you are bringing another lesson into your life.
Oh, right. And who wants that?
Unless you're wanting to deal with another lesson and look
don't want to deal with another lesson. Just want to make sure that, to have the best next chapter.
Yes.
And so it was really just, when I had said it was sparkly, I want individuals to think that was it's nothing bad, nothing, anything. It's sweet. If a cup of hot chocolate on the front of a fireplace or a campfire feels like that's something that's soothing, or a beach fire, and you just, people love that just feels like a hug. It feels good. It's just, you're letting go. You're in a zone. That's exactly what this was. I saw the globe in a different, it looked like it was the different eyes. It was sparkling, literally. It was just like the other side of the veil. It was beautiful. I saw geometric, sacred geometry. I saw what you study.
Yeah.
Merkabah, the tree of life. Like,
and if you think about it, what did our ancestors bring? That's all it was about.
I saw all of that. It's exactly. It was like a trip down to ancient, another life. Golden, everything was golden, everything was yellow,
healing light,
which is very illuminated yellow, soothing. It was an auditory, it was a visual, it was wonderful. And it's nothing bad, it's nothing illegal, it's nothing anything. It's just beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And the community that was there was beautiful. I mean, these individuals were like, if we're all one, which is what we hear in all of no matter what book is written, we're all one. Yes, this is one place.
And I wanted to also let people, you can't judge, because you said even in your little circle, you had a lady with her sons, right? Her 2 sons, and she's old.
There was a lady who was 76 years old.
Isn't that beautiful?
She coming together. She wanted to experience her heart opening. At 76 years old, and she had her 2 adult sons, who they ended up making a mom witch. Mom was in the middle. The sons were sandwiched her. They were singing. It was just beautiful. That mom had us almost in tears. She was the champion. She showed that age is a number. It has nothing to do with anything.
And that you can't judge anybody, that you're not going, that is.
No, she was a joy. She was taking care of others, and taking care of others. How some people were sad. Some people's journey was sad. One girl, she was just crying. Another girl was crying because she had lost her dad, and she just wished for a sign, and a plane flew by, and her dad was a pilot.
Oh my. Oh, that was her sign. And see, that journey, for those that are sad or going through it, they have to go through it because it's their way the body is releasing what has been stuck internally in and showing it in physical pain. So when you are experiencing that sense of release, whether it's laughter, whether it's through tears, whether it's those emotions need to come out to surface so that way you can heal. Now her healing process begins because she has allowed herself that permission. She has given herself that beautiful permission. And that's the beauty of that. And not everybody needs to tap into plant medicine. People can do it through the float like you did. People can do it through sound bowl.
No lie.
Right?
Absolutely. I've done the salt.
Reiki.
Beautiful. You could do it through Reiki. You could do it by being present.
Yes.
Breath work.
Breath work. You can do the same thing. And I, as an experienced teacher for 24 years that I've been teaching and doing this work since I was 11, I can tell you my journey over the counter of years. I finally got to tap ayahuasca. I've got to tap heart medicine. I've got to tap, cacao serum, all that, the sound bowl healing. I've tapped every breath work. I've done it in Miami with someone that was a shamanic breath work that was amazing. And I can say that feeling you have in those plant medicine is no different than you can also get with, if you have a serious practitioner that teaches you how to go into breath work and learn it the right way, you can actually achieve that and encounter that high that you want to get. Again, doing the work, putting yourself present, and allowing whatever comes up to come up, to just walk.
And I didn't understand what that meant as a nurse. Again, I had said starting, it's very cerebral. I'm very cerebral. For me, it's very brain. If it's in a book, it's just very cerebral. I'm a deep feeler.
Yes.
I mean, but if nursing is attracting people who aren't feelers, then I don't know what it's attracting. But you end up being a feeler somewhere in there. And but then also, I mean, there is a thought too, and I'm not talking about nursing only. I'm talking about people who are in any type of care. You can be a teacher, you can be a yoga teacher, you can be a teacher in a school. Correct. If you're servant,
right.
You have this innate need to help others in whatever capacity it is. A waiter can be that. Right. You get a waiter who's serving you food and you just want to take them home. They're delicious. Like you just, oh my God, you're like a brother I've never met before.
Yeah.
But that's a feeler. That's somebody who's enjoying catering to someone.
Right.
That person is a giver that you have to give yourself. But being present, all that stuff, it sounds like something you read and everything else, but it's such a whole difference when you understand it and you apply it. I'm telling you. Application.
Because you can be with people that don't apply it and you can feel the difference. It's like they're like walking.
It's a whole different universe. When I was in a relationship and they were on the phone, they're talking to you, but they're just on their phone.
They're not present.
Right now, if I'm just.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a culprit.
What's that?
And let me tell you one thing about that. I got to say, I remember my daughter, and she's young, but old soul. And one of the things she was big on she doesn't like this. And, she's kind of like me. It's not crazy about posting, but, she's an artist. So I said, you have to, in a sense, you have to put yourself up. You want people to see your work.
Right.
So it's like a love-hate scenario with it. And, but for the most part, she wants you to be present when you talk to her. She doesn't like you into this thing. She doesn't want you doing other things. She's like those old souls that lived in that time when there was no, TV, or it's about see me. You're talking to me. You don't see that with children today. Today you talk to a child and they're like this.
You can go to a restaurant and you can see entire mother, father, and child, and they're all on their own phone. So it's like, then what is the point then? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And so was I a person that was on my phone all the time? Well, yeah. Why? Because people around me weren't interested either. I mean, you go to somebody's house to hang out with them, to be with them, and then they're on their phone. I'm like, I can do this by myself.
Yeah.
I can entertain myself real well.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
don't need your
It's true.
bed.
It's like, well, why do I have to be here for if you're gonna do that?
So I mean, definitely, if someone is not drawn to a plant medicine, or this seems woo woo, whatever the case may be, people have to label everything. I understand if you don't understand. 20 years ago, when I was 10,
Yeah. Stuff. But always said,
it's something that you read, it's something that you hear about. I just encourage, definitely, for individuals to just, you have to cope with
experience,
whatever it is.
especially
You have to cope with whatever it is.
self-care is very big, and I'm big at it. Because again, I'm no different than you. You are very much similar to me. We're too much in our heads. We're basically where we like to look at things and figure things out. Ask why didn't it work, and try to figure it out. And,
oh my God, that's like my favorite question.
Yeah,
people
why?
just make fun of me. Why, Desiree? Why? Mm-hmm.
No, and then I wonder why my daughter did it to me all the time. And I'd be like, why you ask why? Just Google it, figure it out. She'd be like, but why? If I would tell her it's because it's red, but why is it red? I was like, oh my God, did I get my end of it? Because I'm like that. I always have to dive deeper. I have to look
analytical, cerebral, yes.
And I'm like that, and sometimes even like my loved one, he's like, oh my God, stop, would you rest? It just is, and I'm like, and I won't say anything. I'll just go and continue figuring it out until I do. That's how I've been, and so that's why I think for me the plant medicine was good for me, because it kind of, how I got my messages was direct. And when I did the research through different doctors like Dr. Gabor Mate, which I loved, a physician who is into plant medicine, and he talks about other doctors that have gone into it, like psychologists that dived into it, and I forgot the name of it because I have a book, I can't think of it at the moment. But she wrote basically this book on her evolving through plant medicine, and how she saw other people, and why, and how people that have been through therapy for so many years and not seen a breakthrough, versus those that have gone through it and having a person like herself be able to understand it and now be able to coach her clients through the process. She sees breakthroughs like this on people with trauma.
And that you're naming, you're exactly, that's where I feel the journey going.
Yeah.
Because you see so many people go through it. Look, it's not easy. You come to this planet.
Well, the thing is, the traumas, everybody can have a trauma effect feeling in different ways, in different formats.
Oh yes.
Only because what may affect me might not affect you. If we were both, everybody's different. So when you find yourself in situations like releasing it, somatic experiences, like I got into a course on somatic experiences, and I've been trying to apply it in my workouts and all that stuff, just moving the body, allowing myself to use the breath to kind of move the body and move any stressors that I have in certain areas of the body. And I feel that freedom. And now I'm trying to teach it through a meditation, to guide the person through a guided meditation. Like I use the concept of using a waterfall. And you've been in a waterfall before, most people have. If you go into a waterfall and you put yourself on it, what do you feel?
I love it. It's pounding. Delicious.
So think about,
it feels like, so good.
Okay, so imagine putting your body into a waterfall and letting that
pound.
And
I've done that. Okay, yes,
so
I had the pleasure and the beauty of doing it.
Right, the guided meditation is about that, releasing. And then when you come out of it, you could just allow yourself to float on water, feeling the sense of freedom and almost that sense of buoyancy. And so
yes, but it's like a massage, and it's like acupressure points.
But all we're doing is I'm guiding you through that meditation. So when you come out of it and you sit down, by the time I'm done with a client, like I've done it for very few clients, and the ones that I know that need it, either I see a tear come out of joy, like, oh, this was so beautiful, and you could feel and see the shoulders kind of drop. You can feel the energy that they in their chest.
I'm feeling it right now.
It's beautiful. I've done it with like my hairdresser. I did it with him, and he just like opened up. He was just like, "This is so beautiful." I felt so at peace, and calming, and so much stress. And all it is just learning how to guide people into letting go. So there's so many ways of doing it without having to tap into plant medicine. There's so many ways. And it just, if you're seeking for it, trust me, you'll attract it. You'll find
And
it.
some people don't even realize what that let go is. Like, that's so pivotal that you just said that. Because yes, I mean, it's not about a substance. It's not about anything. It's about what is that letting go. And even 2 years ago, I would say, you're talking about, you can get terminated. You can be in a divorce. You can have a relationship and it ends. You lose somebody, literally. Somebody, I mean, I've
It
had
could be
individuals who,
financial. It could be financial
it's
scenarios. That too.
financial,
Yeah.
or a mother who lost their child because they had an accidental.
Anything.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
Traumas come in so many different packages.
Exactly.
And we may not be really equipped, or we think we are, or we thought we resolved it. And so, yeah, in the end of the day, how do we get through? And how do we not, I mean, it's like going through an airport and you're trying to catch that plane, that rush, and you have that heavy suitcase. That's a lot to carry.
Yeah. And I gotta
everything.
say, not only that, but I want to say also during COVID time, a lot of people have been left without work. A lot of people have been left. And the beauty about it, now you can get these answers through YouTube. You can get meditation on YouTube. You can get basically any kind of self-healing on a budget or free.
And it's necessary. It shows that it's needed.
It's needed. So there's that there, and you could just basically just draw awareness to your surrounding, create your space to be that home that you want to come to. Create your space, like my cats. Here he goes.
But they're wonderful. I mean, that's wonderful. I had a beach walk the other day, and it was with somebody else's Doberman, and that was just
beautiful.
That was joy. It was joy.
The animals
that was just
are the most
joy.
Beautiful healing experiences you can ever have.
Wonderful.
They bring you back to that center. They don't carry any resistance, any form of.
No, you're right. Resistance. They have they are in the moment. They unconditional.
And I always think, and I always say, go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to that. I want to be in that space, in that unconditional space. And when I don't, it's like, okay, I need to walk. I'll do meditation. I'll do something, to get me.
Escapism.
Well, it's not escaping. It's basically facing it, because I don't want to call it escapism, because I feel like you're walking away from something you need to confront and delegate.
And then the other side of, like, I escaped from my computer, sitting in front of it for so long. I need to go outside. I need to
walk away from
leave this. Yes. And go into a place that's, I just want to watch butterfly. I smile at a butterfly, and that's, this is that corny?
No.
Well, I mean, if somebody can perceive it as corny, then you're not ready, or you're not there yet. You haven't, you don't realize that's
they're very transformational.
Amazing.
They're spirit animals. Mm-hmm. So if they come to you, there's a message.
I can take 5 seconds of that one experience, and I'm like, I've made my day when I get a butterfly. I just like, oh my God, this is just, I'm so ready to come back to my screen.
But that's exactly what you're doing. You're doing what needs to be done for your own, health, your own benefit, your own nurturing yourself.
And that's what I want for everybody. I think we want that for everybody.
Yeah.
We want everybody. The journey here, we've chosen to be here somehow.
Yes.
And we're here. And we have to be able to, I think that the automobile industry says it, right? You have people who want that car that's rugged and they can get on the beach and you can climb mountains and, that's great. Yeah. But some people want that, that smooth ride where you don't hear anything and it's just like luxury ride.
Yeah.
People will invest so much in those two options of automobiles. Mm-hmm. And life should feel that way too. Life could be rocky and, mm-hmm. aggressive and all that, but sometimes it's nice to be in the, first class on the airplane.
Yeah. In that Zen place. For me, it's just learning to live your life in a very holistic way, very joyful, peaceful way. And to me, you don't need much. It's all about learning to invest in yourself. And that's quality of what you put in, because your body is your temple. How you look at life, because that's how you create your life. So if you're constantly looking at it as a struggle, it's going to be a struggle. If you're looking at it in beauty and that it's easy, it's going to come for you. And you're always learning. Don't look at it as you've learned
And
to.
you need to.
You're
Yeah.
always learning. You're always a student as well as a teacher, because you learn to provide information to others, but at the same time, give yourself that space to be a student and learn from others as well. It's a give and take. It's like
Yes, and that presence, that be present, that enjoy where you are and your surrounding, whatever it is. After my ceremony, I read tweet or whatever
Yes.
whatever it was, that the daughter, the billionaire heiress of Publix, passed away
Wow.
at young age with a form of Alzheimer's.
Really?
That hit her young. Yes, an heiress, the billionaire heiress, one of 7 kids or 6 kids, but she had an early onset. I mean, she had Alzheimer's in her 40s. There's this type of Alzheimer's that could hit you young. God bless everybody. Hit young, and she was passed on by such a tender young age. Billionaire. So that was such. It does. That was just such a powerful.
Yeah, awakening kind of thing.
Yeah, a philanthropist. They listed what she donated. I mean, you know, first, how are we losing? That means that in these later years,
she did her work. I look at it as, you know,
no, absolutely.
She came here for a message, and obviously, look, you received that message. You know,
oh my God, yes.
And she did the work, as you said, a philanthropist. So they.
Oh no, delicious.
It's beautiful.
But for others today who still are here, who struggle with, oh, I don't have the financial, I don't have this, I'm not living where I want to live, I'm not this, I'm not that. All the list of things I'm a list, you know, all the boxes.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what?
Yeah. Life has a way of working itself. You know, life has a way of presenting things in such a beautiful unfolding. But as long as you're open to what comes, like yesterday, I did the sound bowl healing, and this lady came out and started creating a poetic thing, story of the mist. Like, you know, a mist, you can't see your hand in front of you. You just take one foot at a time, one step at a time, not knowing where you're going until you hit a wall. And if you hit a wall, you might not climb up. But, you know, it was so beautiful. And then he would hit a drum with it. And I was like, I felt like I was there. Like, basically what it's telling you, trust the process of just keep moving forward, even though you don't know what's coming in front of you. Just trust the process. You know, it's like that keeps coming up in everything I've done in ceremonies and everything I've done, basically. And look, here again, this was yesterday, a sound bowl healing, and here again, trust the process, which makes that's my experience through my life journey, trust the process, because trusting was not something I had. So peekaboo, he's up. He had a guest. You know what he wants? He wants to eat.
Food, treat.
Feed.
I love it.
I feel like I need to be called Seymour. Feed me, Seymour.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my God. He's just being slick about it. But anyways, yeah, so what's one of the things I love that you've gone through? So how do you feel like you're now closing this year and entering the new year? Because you're in an amazing note. You're glowing. You're looking great. You're feeling
oh my
better.
gosh. I got told that the other day. I saw someone I haven't seen in a very long time. Having been having away for a while, trying to reconnect with everybody. And one person just looked at me. I'm like, oh my God, you're glowing. And I just feel that. I feel that way. I feel like the perspective is different, and I hope to keep tapping in on it. If I start feeling like, oh, you're getting stuck in the matrix here, pull away, and just really center to relax. I want to be able to serve. If I'm going to be a person that's going to be able to continue to help individuals in the terms that are necessary for them, in a useful way, you know, what's my purpose? Yeah. What handprint do I leave? What's the dash between my birth date and my transition date? It has to have some sort of meaning. Otherwise it'd be, what a waste. And yes, like I feel like there's an opportunity, you know, if it's inhaling a peppermint, literally, if it's a pomegranate yarrow combination oil to keep the skin just feeling luxurious.
Right.
If it's a good night's sleep, that's just worth so much. And I know that, you know, if I'm glowing, I want other people to be able to be glowing. And if something happens in your day where you're like, oh, this is really stressing, you know, come back and be able to recoup so that we can last longer and not, and just be at peace.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
matter what's coming at you, try to somehow find peace, because we're gonna continuously be tried. We're
Yeah,
gonna continuously be tried.
I agree. I agree with that. And that's just life. And we just
You're
have
gonna
to
get cut
learn.
off, people get arrested, people get broken up, people get told mean things, you know, unnecessarily.
I just say, look at
Mothers,
it, take it and look at, I always told my daughter, there's a coin to every side, right? To two
yeah,
sides. The coin has two sides, the heads and tails. And I always said, choose which one you want it to be positive. And she always chose the head as positive, the tail. And I said, okay, so when things are in tails, then know that there's consequences with that, but know that you want to turn it and look at the positive side of things. So what is this lesson teaching? Because when things are challenging, it's a lesson you need to learn.
and then how do you equip yourself to be able to do it? Somatically, you mentioned the word somatically, you know, psychologically, physically, mentally, emotionally, all these pieces that make us,
Yeah.
we need
And
to be
it's,
able to have balance in those.
yeah, and it's normal when you have people, because you have leaders and followers. So those that are, if you're going to choose to follow someone with good examples that are going to lead you to success, that's going to lead you to an optimal place. If you're going to be a leader, then choose to look from other leaders and try to set an example like they did. You know, do the best that you can, do your research, do what you got to do for yourself, take care of yourself in order for you to be able to emanate that out, show that to the world, you know, show that energy, be some, if that's what you choose to do. And I think it's how I taught my kid for so long. And I said, but learn to conserve your energy, learn to also step back. And of course, we're humans. There are going to be moments we forget, because even I forget. Even I get caught
And
up.
that's great. That's exactly that point. Caretakers, whether you're caretaking in a formal professional role, or you're caretaking in a mom or dad got sick, or your child got sick role, caretaking. Right. Definitely, that's really it.
But when I say, one of the signs that I do is when my body starts aching, then it's time to nurture, because then when you get to that point, that should be a sign that the feminine side of our bodies need to self-care. And that could be in the bathtub. And if you don't have a bathtub, then go for a walk. Take time to
And that's for male or female.
Yeah,
I mean, it's both. Right. That's for anybody, because we both carry estrogen and we both carry testosterone.
And I always say, take 5 minutes, listen to a podcast, listen to music. Music is very soothing. Listen to calming music, you know, that kind of soothes you. Nothing rowdy, something that's going to ground you, and then just go for a nice, simple walk.
Absolutely.
Breathe that air, that fresh air, and just those simple little things can be done. Doesn't cost you anything. And all you need is 10 minutes just to ground yourself right back. And don't get into a call, just go into your own, be with yourself. And that's what people have to learn, is to be with yourself. In order to be able to give, you need to learn to take for you.
Absolutely. That is so true.
Yeah, you've learned it now, and you've experienced it, because the beauty about when you're going through that phase of learning things and you get tested, you notice that.
Oh my gosh. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I mean, you get pulled in, you know, applying it, coming back and realize. I mean, I remember being so fearful that, you know, that surgeon didn't call, and it's just, I just lost my.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
And knowing that, and it can mean anything. So yeah, having the ability to reel it in, and you know, we know how to manage. You'll tell a family they're going to be, you know, no news is good news. Don't worry about it yet. If they had come out yet to tell you anything yet, it's because they're still working. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't console myself. I lost it.
Yeah.
So yes, you know, and that's it with anything. The person cuts you off on the road. That could be a thing. But you know, maybe you prevented you from getting into that accident up the road. So maybe, you know, It's just all different ways to look at
Look
things
at
so
it.
that you're not
Exactly.
getting so verklempt over any little thing.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
always say
And
that.
then
Yeah, that's beautiful the way you said it. Maybe it prevented you from getting into an accident if you were cut off or you weren't meant to be in that space. There's been situations where I've been in them, and I was like, oh, I wasn't meant to be there. You know, that's fine. Now I don't allow a lot of things just don't get to me anymore. It took me a long time to get there, but like I said, everything is work in process. Some people get there faster, others take a lot
oh, I
longer.
would have loved this 20 years ago. That would have been amazing. But it's now, and it's fine. And, you know, so now I have to definitely put it into practice. That's why I'm taking that herbology course. I even added another one because, you know, I mean, taking care of this from the our molecular cells and then packaging them all together.
Yes, yes.
And then the energy of it too. I mean, you know, people say, ever meet somebody and you don't know what it is about them, but they just give you that, the willies.
Yeah.
It's an energy, that's a vibe.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so put out the energy that you want, like a magnet. The manifestation is like the new buzzword now, but
Yeah.
honestly,
It is. It's not that it's new. It's been there, and it's just a matter of just putting it out there, just really making it happen, and not feeling. Just trust your process, and also be confident. You know, within yourself. Be comfortable in your skin. Love who
yes,
you are.
and they say bees. What is it? If you want, honey attracts bees, not vinegar, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, honey. So make it sweeten things up a little bit, no matter what that sweetness could be.
Absolutely.
And you know, if it's an oil blend, if it's a grounding walk, if it's a salt float, if it's a yoga class, if it's banging it out to some AC/DC,
yeah.
getting that energy out.
It's true. Yeah, whatever works for you, whatever floats, as they say, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I love this, Mama. So I will definitely, I love closing the year with you. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I really can't thank you. Oh my God. And you've come a long way in just
oh my gosh. Who is that? Who are you?
Yeah,
I don't know. Who are you?
I love it.
Next one will be my multiple personalities.
Oh, Jesus. There you go, everybody. Desiree, do you have like a, what they call a, you know, everybody has their alter ego. Who's your alter ego? What's her name?
Oh my gosh. She used to be named Deirdre.
You do have one.
I named her. Deirdre was a person who was just the individual who, you know what, when you met your capacity, and now the other personality where they don't care what, you have nothing to lose and you don't care what comes out of your mouth. I was very high Leo, very New York, very in your face, very whatever.
That's the Deirdre.
And that's Deirdre. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's so funny, yeah. But you know, comedy for me or humor is a way to lighten things up, because honestly, I could be very intense, but you have to just lighten it up. It's too much. I'm a feeler. I don't want to be.
You're a Leo too, so Leos are.
I'm a Leo too.
We're intense. Yeah, we're Leos.
So too much. It's like, whoa, calm down.
But I'm more. My signs are water, also water, air, and fire. So those are my three trios in my houses. So it's like interesting. I could be very to myself, which is a water. In my head, it's in my emotions, my moon sign, and my Leo, which is the one you see here right now. This is the Kamala Ingrid coming out. It is an Ingrid. Ingrid's like the quiet one. Ingrid likes to be away the camera. So the Kamala Ingrid.
It sounds so similar. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. But thank you so much. And everybody that is part of this podcast, those that have been sponsoring me, thank you so much. You know who you are. Thank you for supporting me and this holistic wellness of just amazing stories. I will also have back on board, entering probably in January would be our amazing chiropractor, David Abrahamian, who's going to be also talking more about his journey and his experiences that he's had. So I can't wait to get him back on board. And he's really dove into the whole thing of healing holistically, which is so beautiful to know, to see. And definitely would. He's going to be my next guest of honor coming up into the new year. So again, be patient, everybody, because I know I have off, not bringing it in the beginning of the year of the month. But again, it's the holidays. Everybody's in the holiday spirit. I wish everyone a great year, happy holidays, and I will see you in January. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends.
Thank you for joining me today, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to help others view this content. Also, the Holistic Yogi podcast is now available on my app, Kamala Ingrid. Download for free on Apple and Google Play.